So, really, the key takeaway here is that AI is not the strategic advantage. The way that you integrate it is. Venture design offers this clear, intentional pathway to strategic AI integration. So, it'll allow for explicitly connecting this technology to your business model, your human talent, and your core values. Welcome to Everyday Innovation, your go to podcast for enhancing your creative and entrepreneurial process. I'm Jordan DeVecchia, a multi-passionate creator entrepreneur, venture studio co-founder, and business designer and advisor. Here we live at the intersection of creativity, strategy, and personal development. Join me for inspiring conversations, actionable practices, and insight infusions designed to shift your mindset and empower you with tools and resources to create impactful ventures. Get ready to take your ideas to the next level and innovate with purpose. Welcome back to the Everyday Innovation podcast. I'm so excited about our topic today, the why behind AI. AI has captured enormous attention and excitement, which is totally expected because it is an emerging technology. But I feel like it's been sparking this urgency to integrate it into ventures quickly. We're getting this sort of AI FOMO. And I want to break it down more strategically so that we can integrate it in the best way possible. So let's step back and ask an essential strategic question. Why exactly do we want to integrate AI into our ventures and into our innovation or creative processes? Strategic clarity is always going to outperform hurried, hyped up execution. So, in this episode, we're going to cover the hidden costs of rushing AI, using venture design as a clear, intentional, strategic framework to leverage AI uniquely, integrating AI sustainably for long term impact, and some practical questions and examples to guide this mindful AI integration. So, let's get into it. Let's talk about the real cost of rushing AI integration. I feel like so many leaders feel this immense pressure to be AI first, right? But I think there's costs of rushing without the more intentional strategic alignment of it. There can definitely be financial waste from overspending on these unclear AI initiatives. Or what I see a lot is this lack of an ability to effectively monetize it. Like, what's the point if it's not saving costs or it's adding more to your top line, right? Also, I find that there's a lot of operational chaos, confusion, or complexity when the integration of AI is totally haphazard. The way that you do it is just as important as the why, right? Also, strategic misalignment by chasing all these AI trends can dilute your core brand and your mission. So, whether it's internal or external, having that understanding of how this fits in to who you are as a company, as a brand, as a founder, as a leader is so important. And then also, there is a cost in customer trust when they're frustrated because there's this poorly designed AI experience. It really should be an experience that adds value. And unfortunately, I feel like sometimes when it's rushed, people can feel that. And whether it's your employees, whether it's people that you're getting investment from, whether it is your end customers, it's going to make a difference. And you want to collaborate with AI in the best way possible. So, really, the key takeaway here is that AI is not the strategic advantage. The way that you integrate it is. So, let's talk about venture design for just a second. So, if you haven't listened to the venture design episode, that will be episode 27. Venture design offers this clear, intentional pathway to strategic AI integration. So, it'll allow for explicitly connecting this technology to your business model, your human talent, and your core values. So, I have come up with a framework that has 5 essential phases: clarify, architect, validate, activate, and integrate to frame this thought process. So let's build upon that. Venture design ensures AI becomes that meaningful leverage, enhancing, not diluting the venture's unique value. So 5 phases. So we'll go through each one, talk about a couple of reflective questions. I want to give a couple examples from the startup side and then also sort of the creator solopreneur side, or if you have a service-based business, just to give you a little bit of a mix of examples. So let's start with phase one, which is clarify. So we want to clearly define the exact problems or goals that AI uniquely addresses. So questions that you could ask yourself here could be, is AI truly essential, or are we being swayed by hype or competitor pressure? This is real. If you're looking out into the world. Of course, you want to look at your competitors, what's going on in the market, but a lot of times the strategy and how they integrate it may not actually be the right thing to do, or it may be perfectly right for them, but not for you. So you want to make sure that this urgency that you're feeling is coming from a place of this is going to really serve our customers, serve our team, help us scale. And it's not just something that we're jumping on the bandwagon for because other people in our industry are doing it. Also, how does this AI integration specifically enhance our core value proposition? It's not just a badge to be put on anymore. I think right when AI was, starting to ramp up a bit, it was important that you were considering AI, learning about it, trying to integrate it. But now at this point, the way that you do it and the intentionality behind it is so much more important than having AI as part of your process. It's probably going to be a part of your process at some point. So let's just know that we're all probably going to be AI fueled, just like the internet. We're all digital entrepreneurs in many ways. So let's just get that out of the way and then let's be more strategic about how we're integrating it. So, examples of this could be for like a healthcare startup, for example, they may clearly define how AI enhances the patient diagnostics accuracy. So, it's reducing medical errors and saving lives. So, of course, having AI baked into a healthcare startup is probably very important because there are a lot of data points to consider. And this is a core value proposition. So, if there's something that's serving that industry that can help better digest a lot of those data points, then it needs to happen, right? Another example could be this is a fun one. Let's say there's an independent e commerce founder that runs a specialty home goods store online. Customer drop off is happening during the product selection. So instead of chasing trends like the AI chatbots, make a core differentiator using AI by having a decision making tool. So there could be a lightweight like AI assistant that helps match customers with products based on their style, their space, and also their past orders. So it's like having a boutique in store experience where you would have a sales associate or someone else helping you match those things together, but they're using data points and matching it together in a very intelligent way. So the AI isn't just kind of like bolted on there, it supports the promise of this thoughtful curation and ease and aligns with the brand's core value, especially with hyper personalization. So these are just a couple examples in that clarify stage. So again, clearly define the exact problems or goals that AI is uniquely addressing. So phase two is architect. Thoughtfully integrate AI precisely where it amplifies existing strengths. So, where exactly will it provide measurable leverage and efficiency? Just applying it everywhere and in every process of your business is going to create a lot of chaos and operational confusion, right? How will AI amplify rather than replace our team's core expertise? I think we talk a lot about AI is going to take over labor, right? Really, AI is there to be a source of delegation for certain types of tasks that are not part of your team's core competencies or genius or part of that major core value that you have from your talent. So let's talk about some examples. So going back to e-commerce again, an e-commerce brand could integrate AI to optimize the inventory forecasting. So in that way, they're significantly reducing waste and improving margins. And this may be something that their team is not, that's their operational efficiency or inventory forecasting is not necessarily something that's one of their core competencies, but doing this in a way that is very intentional and very strategic and efficient will help them reduce waste and create more meaningful experiences by freeing up time from their employees or the people in the leadership team, right? Another example could be from like the creative space. There could be a copywriter who creates this AI enhanced workflow. So when they receive a client brief, they could use these GPT powered draft generators to make some first pass content. So they would train this AI, of course, to understand the frameworks that they typically use as a copywriter, things like that, that are going to be kind of what they would do as a first pass draft anyway. So training it on that and then having a lot of these documents that they can then go in, tweak, update, rewrite if they need, but they have some starter content to go off of. That probably is getting them 50% there so that they can continue to refine and use their brain power toward the nuances of the tone and the unique properties of who their clients are going to be. And this can help, especially in early stage, like the proposal process, where you don't want to be wasting so much time on a client that is not solid yet. You want to give them the best work possible, but saving a bit of time up front will allow you to not spend hours and hours and hours and hours on a proposal, do it in half the time. That's going to free up a lot more time to either get more clients or to do some better sales or marketing, right? So let's talk about the next phase, which is validate. So you want to quickly test AI applications with clear, measurable outcomes. So, what are the specific KPIs or key progress indicators that will indicate AI success clearly and quickly? You want to make sure if you're integrating AI that you can measure, again, that why behind the AI. Why is it there? Is it working? Or is it just being integrated and it's like a black hole of is it working or not? And how rapidly can we gather that meaningful feedback on AI effectiveness? So, an example from the startup world could be like a financial advisory firm or financial startup could be testing some AI driven portfolio recommendations and very quickly add in a feedback loop of client satisfaction and then also just that investment performance very early. So, that's a very quick way if they're starting to add that in or test it to get that feedback from the client experience as well as the actual experience of data if it's predicting correctly, right? Another example, more from the digital entrepreneur space, would be let's say there is an educator that has a membership based community. They could integrate an AI tool that suggests either some bonus content to members based on their engagement history or another workshop or course that they may want to tap into. And to validate that sort of return on investment there for the AI suggestion platform, they can track the upsell rates for premium tiers. They could see how often people are opting into that AI curated content and then also retention metrics. So if people are joining this membership, like how often are they dropping off anymore? If the AI is helping them stay engaged and move on to the next piece or helps them along in that process, that makes sure that the AI isn't just a feature, but it's actually a revenue generating asset. So the next phase is activate. You want to make sure, especially with AI, that you're transparently and intentionally launching AI initiatives, clearly communicating with your customers and your other stakeholders. So, when you're integrating AI, you want to make sure that have we communicated AI's role and its limitations in this? How can we proactively manage the expectations of our customers, our stakeholders to maintain trust? Trust is so important, and poor AI integration can erode trust. So, this is such a key, essential piece of this integration process. Many of you, and this is, of course, the example you would want to use is that anything that has customer service to like a customer service platform, you want to make sure that you're informing customers that your AI support is enhancing response times and availability. So, the way that you explain why there is an AI assistant showing up first before a human is really to reduce wait times and maybe collect information that may be really useful in selecting the correct person to handle this problem. And so it's really kind of a little bit of operational engineering, industrial engineering to get that to the right place and to make sure that people understand when AI is coming into the process. Another example could be like a course creator could use AI to personalize some of the onboarding emails for new students. So in the launch announcement, you could explain that AI tailors learning paths based on the quiz data, positioning it as a value add that respects the student's time and learning style. So you can also share how students can opt out or offer some feedback. So there's some transparency and trust there. It's really just more of an onboarding tool and allows you to connect people with the proper content so that there's less time taken from the founder or the creator doing that for them in maybe a more efficient or maybe even more effective way. Last is integrate. So you want to regularly reassess and refine AI integration to maintain strategic alignment. Integrating the process is really that reflection period. You want to reflect at every point, of course, but this is how are we going to move forward in the future? Are we going to pivot something? Are we going to invest more into it? Our reflective questions would be, are our AI initiatives continuously aligned with our evolving business goals? So let's say you're reflecting on it and saying, this isn't really getting the return that we thought, or the experience is not what we thought it was going to be with our customers. They're not loving it. With our team using it, they're not using it in the way that it was intended, or it seems to be causing some confusion. Maybe it's time to pivot, or there's a different tool that you could be using, right? And then how flexible are we to scale, pivot, or adjust our AI approach? With a lot of things, you want to try to be as lightweight as you can as you start to work on it. So, making sure that as you scale, as you pivot, or you adjust your AI approach, that you can add more over time, right? So, a good thing would be to do maybe quarterly strategic reviews of a lot of these AI driven initiatives just to see, gives enough time to sink in a bit, but then you can gather that data and see what the next steps would be. Another an example that could be from like the services industry would be like a UX consultant, user experience consultant. They could build like a lightweight AI dashboard to track engagement patterns on client websites. So every quarter they could review that data to see what messaging or UI elements perform best and use that insight in future strategy packages. You can see how the AI is actually working in the process and then also see how your actual performance is doing and integrate as you're going through that venture design process. You can use that AI to assess other pieces of the business as well, right? So that's going to be actually a fun episode that's coming next. So using AI in the venture design process. So I'm excited to share that with you as well. So stay tuned for that. As we sort of wrap up, I want to talk about two other key areas when you're looking at the perspective of how you intentionally integrate AI into your business, the why behind AI. And I want to talk first about sustainability. And this is a huge, huge topic in AI. And it's something that I feel I want to speak on because I have worked in the sustainability sector. And I learned a lot more about sustainability than just the environmental piece of it. I've looked at sustainability as a way of being efficient and impactful and intentional, right? So I think sustainability in AI is holistic. There's an environmental factor, a business factor, an ethical factor, and a personal factor. Environmental sustainability, when it comes to AI, and there's so much data on this that you can do a lot of research, but AI does consume significant energy. And I also think that there are use cases for AI that promotes sustainability as well. So I think instead of being so hard on ourselves, especially at the personal level, we need to look at how can we design this very effectively at the startup level, at the early business stage level, and then also demand and choose greener infrastructure from the large AI companies, the large AI providers, from our governments. I think we should advocate industry wide accountability for energy efficient AI practices. So it's not about shaming people for leveraging AI in their business models to reduce waste or for their own personal processes. I think we need to just be extremely aware as both consumers and creators of business and commerce on our usage of AI, just as you would with electricity, just as you would really anything else. It does all come back down to energy, right? So that's just kind of an aside there. I don't want to say for anyone whether what is wasteful, what is not wasteful. I think we have to develop our own ethics on that and just follow your values and in your business's core competencies and brand values as well. For business model sustainability, you want to ensure that AI enhances the long-term resilience and adaptability of your company, period. You want to make sure that you are leveraging all resources effectively, including money, including energy, including the energy of your workers. There are so many things that go into what sustainability means for a company. AI has to clearly optimize resources or reduce operational waste. That's just what it needs to do. And if it can also add brand equity or impact for your consumers, then absolutely, right? There's also ethical sustainability. So, integrating AI responsibly, transparently, and fairly to uphold customer trust is so important. The transparency part, I think, is the key here. And again, having a why behind it really, basically, you're creating a competitive differentiator, which is essential for your brand integrity. So, having a good understanding of the why and the strategic value of it allows you to communicate that transparently and then make sure that you're upholding the values that you're sharing with your customers and your other stakeholders. And then, of course, team and personal sustainability. AI should relieve, not overwhelm your team. So it should be reducing burnout and increasing the creative and strategic focus. If you're using it to, if you're putting it in there and people are not having a relief of workload or they're not able to do the things they need to do, then you're creating more of a barrier to success. So, a reflective question here is our AI integration actually improving the well being and the effectiveness of our teams? If not, then you really need to check it, right? Sustainable AI integration ensures that ventures endure, align with values, and they meaningfully support human talent, not replace it. I want you to also think of AI as a strategic partnership. I honestly think about this for all tech, right? AI really isn't just a technology, but it is a strategic partner carefully chosen to enhance your venture's vision. I want you to thoughtfully experiment with AI partners and models, ensuring that there is alignment with your unique strategic advantage and also your brand, of course. Which AI tools specifically amplify our core differentiators? And are we mindful about selecting our AI partners that align with our strategic goals? And again, this goes back to your values as well. We want to hold the industry accountable. Make sure that you're partnering with the tools that make sense for your business model, your team, your process, the way that you innovate and create, and then also that align with your values, right? The way the company operates, you have choice in who you partner with. So, the last thing I want to kind of share is I want to give you the permission to slow down. I think that urgency can cloud judgment, AI FOMO can cloud judgment, and strategic clarity creates enduring success. You have explicit permission to pause and reflect deeply on your AI strategy, how and if you want to integrate it. There is no rush, there is no true FOMO. Right now, it is all about getting crystal clear on how you'd like to integrate it. And if you want to integrate it in little bits, that's great. If you want to integrate it in one area versus another, great. This is totally up to you. The options are limitless. And reflection intentionality will always outperform hurried decisions. This is a decision making piece as well, right? A good leader, a good strategist deeply thinks about the why behind all of this. So, to recap, strategic clarity, intentionality, and sustainability are keys to impactful AI integration. In the next episode, I want to share practical applications and examples of leveraging AI effectively in each venture design phase. So, utilizing AI to help you design your venture. So, this is using AI as leverage and a tool in this innovation process. So, what I want you to ask yourself is your AI strategy genuinely clear, aligned, and sustainable? What is your why behind AI? And if you need any help figuring that out, I would love to work with you one on one to clarify some of this. We can walk through all five phases. We can chat about AI integration from a high level perspective, a leadership perspective, and we'll figure it out together. Thank you so much. And I look forward to chatting with you in the next episode.